Now we have seen what are the factors responsible for the occurrence of tides. Then different types of tides, two types of tides, spring tides and neap tides. Yes. Now, do you know intertidal range? Okay, what is this intertidal range? The difference in water level of the high tide and the low tide is called the tidal range. What difference? Okay, the difference in the water level. What happens at the high tide? Water level increases. At the low tide, water level decreases. So the difference between it is known as intertidal range. Okay, in open seas, this range is about 30 centimeter. See a centimeter. The range is about 30 centimeter. However, towards the coastal areas, it goes on increasing. Along the coast of peninsular India, okay, peninsular India means what? Peninsula. Peninsula means what? India. And when the land is covered with water on the three sides, it is called as peninsula. Peninsular India, you can see the India's map. Yes, the down portion of India on three sides, it is covered with water. That's why it is called as the peninsular India. Okay. So along the coast of peninsular India, the range is around 100 to 150 centimeter. Just see. Actually, it is 30 centimeter, but towards the peninsular India, the range is 100 to 150 centimeter. Why? Because it is open sea. For most of the part, the highest tidal range in the world is observed in Bay of Fundy along the Atlantic coast of North America. Here the tidal range is about, my God, see what is the tidal range? 1600 centimeter. See, 30 centimeter, 100 centimeter, 150 centimeter, and this is 1600 centimeter. In India, the highest tidal range is in the Gulf of Khambat. It is about how much? 1100 centimeter. Okay, in India. So this is called as tidal range. Okay, the level of water increases and decreases. Clear? Now we are going to see what are effects of tides, means what happen because of tides, that we are going to see. Okay class, so class, I hope you all are getting what are we all doing. Yes, effects of tides. With the high tide, see what happened because of tides. With the high tide, fish move into the creeks and this helps fishing activities. Okay, do you all know what are creeks? Yes, you all must have learned about creeks. So what happened? If when high tide, the water level increases. As the water level increases, the fish, they come with the water in the coastal areas and they move into the creeks. Creeks means the small part which enters the land. Okay, those are called as creeks and which helps the fishing activity. Yes, the tides clear the west and hence the coast becomes clean. How come the coast becomes clean? The water, it comes towards the coast and again the water moves inside the sea or ocean, and with it, it takes whatever the waste is there on the coast, it takes with it and it cleans the coast. Ports do not get filled with sediments. Ports. Okay, what are the ports? Do you know what are the ports? Ports means where the ships, yes, where the ships are stopped, we can say, are known as ports. Okay, like railway, bus stand. So for ships, it is ports. So ports do not get filled with sediments. Sediments means what? What is the meaning of sediments? Means big stones, gravel, these are called as sediments. So when the water level increases, what happens? These sediments, it move with the water and it does not remain only on the ports. Understood? Then ship can move up to ports during high tide, and because of which the ships can move up to the ports during the high tide. Understood? During high tide, seawater can be stored in salt pans from which salt can be obtained. Yes, you must have seen what, where on the coast, okay, far away from the coast, salt pans are made. So when high tide is there, water level it increases, so water comes and gets accumulated into the salt pans, and when the water decreases, the water it remains into the salt pans, and the remaining water it gets into the seas and ocean. So it helps to collect the sea water to in salt pans, okay, from which salt is obtained. Getting all of you? Yes. The tidal force can be used to generate electricity. Yes, tidal electricity, tidal force is used, tidal, okay, this tide, this force, when high tide is there, this force can be used many places. It has been started, okay, to generate electricity on this tidal force. Getting all of you? A lack of an understanding of the timings of high and low tides may cause accidents. Yes, when the fishermen, if they are not getting the right time of high tide, low tide, basically not fishermen, because fishermen are used to it, but if they're the travelers, okay, those who like to go into the seas, ship, okay, so at that time into the boats, at that time if they are not aware of all these things, it may cause the accidents, okay, because high tide is not good. So accidents to swimmers entering the sea. The tides help in maintaining the mangroves and the coastal biodiversity. Now, what are mangroves? Mangroves are the types of forests. What are the mangrove type of forest? The trees which are which are on the sea coast, okay, are the mangrove trees. Okay, mangrove forest we can say. So this tides help in maintaining the mangroves and the coastal biodiversity. Biodiversity means different plants which grows in the coastal areas. So this, because of the tide, it helps it. Why? Because the level of water is not great also and not very low also. So it helps the coastal biodiversity, the cycle which is there, it helps it. So these are the effects of tides. All of you got it? Yes, class? Getting or not? So we have seen that what are the effects of tides. Clear? Now, next part which we are going to see is timings of the tides change daily. Yes, I told you this before only. It is not like that if it is in 5 o'clock in the afternoon, tomorrow also it will be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, it changes daily. Now, why does it change, that we are going to see. Okay. The tides are continuously occurring phenomena. It is continuously like day and night. After reaching the maximum water level during high tide, the low tide sets in. Yes, after the water level is increased, in the next part, the low tide sets in. Similarly, after reaching the lowest water level during low tide, the high tide sets in. We have seen this. Means if there is high tide, definitely there is going to be low tide in some another place, and if there is low tide, there is going to be high tide in some another place. Am I right? So remember that in following discussion, the highest limit of the high tides is mentioned. Following discussions means which we are going to see now. See figure 3.9. You will understand why the timings of high and low tides change daily. Now we can see over here why the timings are changed daily. Okay, just try to understand this figure very properly. This is Earth. Okay, rotation speed of the Earth. 1 degree is equal to 4 minutes. Rotation speed. What? 1 degree is equal to 4 minutes. Time taken for 12 degree 30 minutes is equal to 50 minutes. To rotate Earth, to take the time for the rotation is 12 degree 30 minutes means 50 minutes. Okay, can you see all this? Can you see this everything? Okay, M1 M2 means this is the position of the moon which is changing. Clear?